Y'all know on this show, if we talking hoops, I got the savant next to me. That's Rick Bucher, one of the most brilliant basketball minds in all of the sport. Bay Area reporter for several years. So you know about these Warriors in depth. But I don't know how well you know about them, Slick, because I was told yesterday, if I'm not mistaken by you, that this series was going to be a 4-1 Timberwolves sweep, gentlemen.
Am I wrong yet? By the way, Shade.
I'm ready to give you my love. Come on.
When you said basketball savant, I thought for a second there you might turn to your right.
You the big dog.
Shady was on it.
Big dog.
You gonna let him? He gotta give him my love. He ain't.
Did I just not?
He did.
Did I just not? I
was a
gave you your
savant,
flowers.
dog.
I said he's looking the wrong way when he's talking about his
Say my name. Say my name.
This is one of the problems with Shady McCoy.
What's
It's just
the problem?
never enough.
It's never
just
enough,
never
man.
enough.
Hey, are the Warriors enough without Steph Curry? That's my question for you. Do they need Steph to win this series?
They do. As impressive as it was that they held on, the fact is that Steph was such a big part of getting them off to the right start. 13 points in 13 minutes, and then they just hung on. And I'm going to assume, and this is what's hard for me, is that the Minnesota Timberwolves, they didn't show any respect to the Golden State Warriors. Before or after Steph left, but especially after. Like, Buddy Hield can play. Buddy Hield can knock down shots. Even Pat Spencer coming off the bench. Like, you need to defend these guys like you're playing in a playoff game, not like you're the higher seed and we've got more talent and we've got more size and we've got more athleticism. You know, one of the things you don't have, which was illustrated in this game, you don't have as much basketball IQ. And that can balance out everything else. Now, I will say they didn't display great basketball IQ. I've seen the Timberwolves play smarter basketball than this. I've seen Anthony Edwards play smarter basketball than this. But they better understand that they have to play at that level regardless of who the Golden State Warriors put on the floor. Because I will say this, if they don't play any different than they did yesterday, if they don't lift their game, then the Warriors can win this series without Steph Curry.
That's why I'm saying no, the Warriors don't need Steph Curry. But I'm saying it no based upon that game yesterday, like you just finished your take with. The Warriors won that game in part because the Timberwolves didn't want to win that game. The effort that the Timberwolves put on the court was absolutely putrid. I'm watching that game. Julius Randle, I could not tell if he even cared to be out there. In what world does Julius Randle, your number 2 scorer throughout the duration of this playoffs, essentially get benched unofficially throughout the majority of the fourth quarter? The T-Wolves are mounting a comeback on the backs of Dante DiVincenzo and Ant-Man Edwards, and Julius Randle is sitting on the bench with his bright orange cleats doing nothing. Then he gets into the game, and he does not contribute in a major way, not even with energy, not even with effort. You're 6'10", and you got 3 rebounds on the game. Make sense of that. Everybody was waiting on someone else to make a play.
Great point.
Everybody was. Watch that game. The players were watching everybody else like, who gonna get hot? Because it can't be me. Julius looking at Nas Reed, Nas looking at DiVincenzo looking at Ant-Man, Ant-Man looking at Randle. Everybody was waiting on someone else to make a play. If indeed the T-Wolves continue to play like that, I don't think the Warriors need Steph. And last thing I'll say about it is this. Steve Kerr is so brilliant, he will find the strength and the weakness. Because there's a strength in every weakness. When Steph Curry came off the court, if we're being honest, the Warriors got bigger. And the primary advantage that the Timberwolves have is size. So when you replace 6'2", 6'3" Steph Curry with 6'8" Kuminga, all of a sudden, you just got bigger and more athletic. Steph Curry is Steph Curry, people. You would rather have Steph Curry. But at the point in which you can hold the Timberwolves to 88 points, I think they'll find a way to win another game or two.
I love my Warriors, and I love everything you guys are saying. But I got to be honest. I mean, I think we can hold off long enough for Steph to come back, but we can't win this series without Steph Curry. Who are we kidding here? So we're banking on the Timberwolves to shoot 17% from the three-point line. We're banking on the Timberwolves to go 5 for 29 from 3. When Ant-Man was, third highest three-point shooting this year? That we banking on? We banking on my favorite player probably on the team, other than Steph Curry, Draymond Green, one of my good friends. You think he's going to have 18 points every single game? Is that what we banking on? Making 3-4 threes? Is that what we telling us? Buddy Hield. Now, I do think Buddy Hield, though, he's a special one because he's never had this much confidence. He's never had this much coaches talk about him. Think about that, though. When you're a player that never get talked about, now your head coach is talking about you in the presser, Now the stars is on the team is talking about you as the Eagle. Now we having jokes about Jimmy Butler being the Batman around. Like, now you a player now. You go from after the game, I get my food, I go on the bus. Now, after I get my food, I go to the podium. Yeah. I got people talking about me. I got people tweeting about me.
Not just on offense either. Like, getting his flowers for his defense, being a complete player.
So him going 14 for 19 from 3 in the last 2 games, that's reasonable because I think he can do that. He can shoot the ball. And one thing, Steve Kerr is a great coach of getting his shooters involved. But that's a lot to ask, though, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. When Jimmy Butler got hurt in the last series, I said, man, we can't win without Jimmy. And Steph was playing. And you know what we did? We won. Mm-hmm. So I do think that we need Steph Curry, probably, in my opinion, the best player still in this league. We need him to win this series. But I think we can hold off just enough because our Warrior team is so strong.
No, they got GP, they got Buddy, they got Moody, they got Santos, they got Looney.
That Kuminga.
Kuminga. Yeah. They don't need Steph Curry.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
boy, I was about to go, man.
I was like, wait a minute. I
they gonna say Santos. Really gonna say, I'm like, what?
When he said Santos, I knew he was sarcastic.
Yeah.
Okay. I was. And he said, come on, man. We're talking about getting out of a series, not winning one game. We talked about these wing defenders. Man, they tall. Man, they can move their feet. Steph had them boys in a blender. And I said early, defense is different when you play Steph Curry. He running all over the court. He could take you off the dribble. He step back. Curry had them boys on skates and in a blender early in that game. To win this series, if one of the greatest point guards is not on the court, greatest players is not on the court, the Warriors are in trouble winning a series against the Minnesota Timberwolves. In trouble. Where is the points consistently going to come from? Consistently. Buddy Hield can shoot the ball, but consistently points, like you said, Draymond, 18, that's not going to happen consistently. They have a guy in Steph Curry who is consistently going to give you 27 to 30 points a game. That is gone. Who's consistently going to demand a bunch of attention to get other guys wide open shots and backdoor cuts and all that type of stuff. That's gone. To win this series, they need Steph Curry on the basketball court. I don't care who they got. I don't care about their coach. I don't care about nothing. Players win games. One of the best players in the world is not on the court.
How can you say that when, and we know what Jimmy Butler is in the playoffs. Shady tells me every single day. So knowing what Jimmy Butler is in the playoffs, how can y'all say that? The Warriors already have won. The operative word for me is, do they need him? Would they like him there to win the series? Yes. Would they prefer him there to win the series? Absolutely. But how can y'all say need when y'all just watched the Timberwolves lose that game themselves? I think the Timberwolves, you saw Ant-Man go 0 for 11 in the Lakers.
Bad like that, though.
Ant-Man went 0 for 11 against the Lakers in the last game from 3. Okay. Then he went 1 for 5. So it's not as though it's impossible. We've seen it the last 2 games.
Everybody yesterday, though, not just Ant-Man.
You're not lying. You're not lying there at all.
So that's what you're saying. So he played bad the closeout game with the Lakers. Played bad in his opener, right, with the Warriors. You think Ant-Man's going to keep playing bad?
I don't think you'll get 3 more games like that from Ant-Man, but here's what I do think.
Okay.
Jimmy Butler's capable of going for 38. And boom, he's capable of doing that. Yesterday he gave you 20. He was
let me put that so 38 points, cool, bet.
He's capable of going for 38.
But he's going to go
Buddy can go for 20.
25. Let's say 25.
Buddy can go for 25.
Okay, cool. Now it's about to get interesting. Now go. Now go.
Now Pods has to go for 16 or 12. Right. Like, Pod has to show up. He has to show up. Kuminga has to go for 14. They have to get it in bunches. But more than anything, it's this. The Warriors are 16-1 when they hold opponents under 100 points. That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. They have to play defense. And as we all know, you can get better defensively with Steph Curry off the court. You can find a strength and a weakness. I don't think they need him to win the series. Yes, they would like him, but fellas, that game last night told me they don't need him. James, Steph was gone the majority of the game, big dog. And the Warriors expanded that lead to 20 points with Steph in the locker room.
And kudos to one game. They played well for one. The other team played really, really bad shooting the basketball. And the other team played well. Kudos to one game. We're talking about a 7-game series here, Slick. It is going to be tough to beat the Minnesota Timberwolves without Steph Curry in a 7-game series.
Yeah, where it gets tricky is Minnesota has to play faster.
Yes.
The reason that the Warriors were so good defensively is because it was at their pace, the way they want to play. If the Timberwolves play faster, then it's going to affect their depth. And your point with Jimmy is a fair one, except that when he scores big, he's not the same playmaker. He's generally one or the other. And so if he's not the playmaker, who is going to fill that role? And normally I would say Draymond Green can step into it, but he hasn't been that on a consistent basis. What he's done is reminded us what a great defender he is.
He played great
right?
last game. Yeah.
So I just, and the other tricky part is that how many games are you going to miss Steph? Because you only missed Jimmy one, essentially, what, right? 1.5. If he comes back and plays, is he going to be Steph with a hamstring?
That's the other thing.
That's the other tricky
what
part.
y'all are
you can
telling
get him back
me,
and he's not the same
What
guy.
y'all are telling me then almost is they're not winning the series. All athletes on this show, I love that about us, Slick Soccer, if I'm not mistaken. So genuinely, all athletes on this show, even if Steph comes back 2-5, you can't come back from a hammy rush. You know this, bro. You didn't get hurt, obviously, but you can't come back from a hammy rush. So even if and when Steph comes back, he can't come back and run the 3 miles a game he's said to have run on average.
I don't know if I don't know if that's true. I've been hurt. When you're a great player, you're different. That's what makes you great. Because you can play through injuries. Steph Curry can run around with a freaking messed up thumb. You see his thumb?
Of course, but that's not affecting how you
Listen,
run.
it affects how you shoot.
Of course.
Right. So I'm saying you adjust. There's so many players in the history of when they've been hurt, they find a way to win.
I will say.
That's why he's a great player.
He had the hamstring. He still was on the floor. He still managed.
And he scored. Like, hey, Slick, real quick, before you go, do you think it's some of the Timberwolves' performance with some of that rust? They look bad.
Yeah.
Out of shape.
Yeah.
No defense. Randall looked tired in the first quarter.
Yeah.
It was like 6 minutes left. Randall was tired.
I think it's a combination of rust and beating the Lakers. That they didn't have to play well to win that series. They didn't play anywhere close to their best.
right.
And sometimes you get the illusion that
that we did
beat
it.
them 4-1, like we're on it. And it's like, no. You need to play better. It's what I said about the Boston Celtics. Don't play the score. Like, look at how you're playing and decide if you're playing.
We all
up or
been
not.
in games to where it's like, you trotting on the field warming, we finna slap these boys. They ain't got. And then you.
What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.